Operation Mobile was the name given to Canadian Forces' activities in the 2011 military intervention in Libya. The United States' counterpart to this was Operation Odyssey Dawn. The French counterpart was Operation Harmattan and the British counterpart was Operation Ellamy. The no-fly zone was proposed during the Libyan Civil War to prevent government forces loyal to Muammar Gaddafi from carrying out air attacks on anti-Gaddafi forces and civilians. The demonstrations in Libya were part of the larger Arab Spring movement that began in the country of Tunisia on the 18th of December 2010. When demonstrations began in Libya, the government of Muammar Gaddafi responded with systematic attacks by air and ground forces, and repression of the protesters. In a speech, Gaddafi promised to chase down the protesters and cleanse the country, house by house. Several countries prepared to take immediate military action at a conference in Paris on the 19th of March. The no-fly zone was enforced by NATO's Operation Unified Protector. NATO took sole command of all operations in Libya from 6 o'clock GMT on the 31st of March, which effectively ended the U.S. Operation Odyssey Dawn, as all U.S. operations were absorbed into NATO's Unified Protector. The Canadian contribution continued to fall under Operation Mobile, which ceased activities on the 1st of November 2011. Canadian Forces, Royal Canadian Navy. On the 1st of March, Prime Minister Stephen Harper announced that HMCS Charlottetown would deploy from Halifax on the 2nd of March to take part in Canadian and international operations already underway in Libya. Charlottetown departed CFB Halifax and joined the standing NATO Maritime Group 1 on the 14th of March, and arrived on station on the 17th of March. HMCS Charlottetown is a Halifax-class frigate under the command of Commander Craig Sciarpan with a crew of about 240 officers and sailors, and a CH-124 Sea helicopter and air detachment, with the other ships of standing NATO Maritime Group 1. HMCS Charlottetown was engaged in regional maritime security operations in the central Mediterranean Sea. On the 18th of August, HMCS Vancouver took the place of HMCS Charlottetown for the remainder of the NATO mission in Libya. HMCS Charlottetown returned to Canada on the 2nd of September. Royal Canadian Air Force. Task Force Libya was the air detachment participating in the enforcement of the no-fly zone in Libya authorized by Resolution 1973, adopted by the UN Security Council on the 17th of March. The task force was named for the strong southwesterly wind that blows all year in the Mediterranean Sea. Task Force Libya comprised 6 CF-18 Hornet fighter aircraft, 2 Boeing CC-177 Globemasters, 2 CP-140 Auroras and about 200 Canadian Forces personnel, including aircrews and ground technicians from 425 Tactical Fighter Squadron at 3-wing CFB Bagotville and 409 Tactical Fighter Squadron at 4-wing CFB Cold Lake and other locations across Canada. The force also included 2 CC-150 Polaris air-to-air refueling detachment from 437 Transport Squadron at 8-wing Trenton, Ontario. Task Force Libya reached the region on the 18th of March. CF-18 Hornets and CC-150 Polaris assets were based at Trapani Birgi Air Base in Sicily, Italy. CP-140 Aurora aircraft were based at Naval Air Station Sigonella in Sicily, Italy. Trapani Detachment, 7 CF-188 Hornet fighter aircraft from 425 Tactical Fighter Squadron and 409 Tactical Fighter Squadron at 4-Wing Cold Lake, Alberta. 2 CC-150 Polaris tanker from 437 Transport Squadron at 8-Wing Trenton, Ontario, and 1 CC-130J Hercules airlifter from 436 Transport Squadron at 8-Wing Trenton, Ontario, and the Mission Support Flight Sigonella Detachment, 2 CP-140 Aurora aircraft, 1 from 405 Long-Range Patrol Squadron at 14-Wing Greenwood, Nova Scotia, and the other from 407 Long-Range Patrol Squadron at 19-Wing Comox, British Columbia. Sorties to date: CF-188 Hornet fighters 946, CC-150 Polaris tankers 250, CP-140 Aurora long-range patrol aircraft 181, CC-130J Hercules airlifters 23, CC-130 Hercules tankers 139. Deployed forces: Royal Canadian Air Force 6 times CF-18 Hornet multi-role fighter jets from Trapani-Birgi Airport in Trapani, Italy, 2 times CC-177 Globemaster 3 strategic transport aircraft, 2 times CC-130J Hercules tactical transport aircraft, 2 times CC-150 Polaris air-to-air refueling tankers, 2 times CP-140 Aurora maritime patrol aircraft, Royal Canadian Navy HMCS Charlottetown, a Halifax-class frigate, 1 times CH-124 Sea King HMCS Vancouver, a Halifax-class frigate, 1 times CH-124 Sea King. Canadian Special Operations Forces Command Joint Task Force 2. An additional 6 CF-18s were placed on standby in Canada, ready to deploy immediately if called upon. Summary of action: the 21st of March, start of operations. 4 CF-18 fighters and 2 CC-150 Polaris refuelers operating from Trapani-Birgi Airport flew the first mission in Libya on the 21st of March, acting as armed escorts to coalition jets conducting bombings. Canada expected to take part in bombings as soon as the following night. HMCS Charlottetown also began patrolling the waters north of Libya in order to help to enforce a NATO blockade of Libya. Defense Minister Peter Mackay stated that another 6 CF-18 fighter jets are on standby to deploy if needed. The 22nd of March, 2 CF-18s again flew missions on Tuesday the 22nd of March. However, they had to abandon the planned attack on a Gaddafi Libyan airfield as the high possibility of collateral damage was against the strict rules of engagement. For a second day, a CC-150 tanker refueled Canadian aircraft as well as other coalition aircraft. The 23rd of March, the third day, marked the first time Canadian jets bombed Libya since the campaign began. This occurred as 4 CF-18s flew 2 missions against an ammunition depot in Misrata, dropping 4 227 kg laser-guided bombs, and supported by 2 CC-150 Polaris tankers. In other developments, Commodore John Newton, of the Royal Canadian Navy, stated that the crew of HMCS Charlottetown were prepared to conduct boarding operations and had been training for search and rescue of downed pilots. The 24th of March, 2 CF-18s flew to air interdiction patrols over Libyan airspace. A CC-150 Polaris took part of the operations, providing fuel for Canadian and other coalition aircraft. Defense Minister Peter Mackay announced Canada would send 2 CP-140 Auroras to provide maritime surveillance in support of the United Nations arms embargo against Libya. The Canadian forces deployed 80 personnel from 14 Wing Greenwood and 19 Wing Comox. The 25th of March, 2 CF-18s conducted one sortie and released several precision-guided munitions against electronic warfare sites near Misrata. 2 CC-150 also took part of Operation and refueled both Canadian and coalition aircraft. HMCS Charlottetown patrolled the north of Libya and investigated a vessel in distress. The 27th of March, a second ammunition depot, this time located 92 kilometers south of Misrata, was destroyed in an operation by 4 CF-18s utilizing 227 kilograms laser-guided bombs. In addition, CF-18s coordinated other attacks involving up to 20 other coalition aircraft. Enforcing the arms embargo, a CP-140 Aurora flew the first Canadian maritime patrol mission. The 29th of March, 2 CF-18s helped the rebels by attacking targets in Misrata. Canadian CP-140 Aurora surveillance aircraft began around this time a psychological warfare operation over Libya using airborne leaflet propaganda and radio transmissions. The broadcast of propaganda messages over Libyan territory led to the Gaddafi regime trying to jam the transmissions via electronic warfare. The 31st of March, from 8 o'clock EET, NATO took sole command of air operations over Libya under Operation Unified Protector, taking over from U.S. Africa Command. The 21st of April. Pilots flew more than 100 missions over Libya since the beginning of Operation Mobile. During the past week they were deployed 38 times. They attacked armored vehicles, ammunition depots, and mobile rocket launch. The 13th of May, HMCS Charlottetown was involved in a naval battle near the port city of Misrata. Charlottetown was conducting patrols at around 2 a.m. local time with other Allied warships when a number of fast, small boats launched an attack. No warships sustained any damage. This was the first time since the Korean War that a Canadian warship was involved in a naval battle. The 19th of May, Canadian pilots participated in NATO airstrikes that destroyed 8 Libyan warships. HMCS Charlottetown also participated in the operation. The 27th of May, Canadian pilots dropped 240 laser-guided bombs on Libyan targets since the 31st of March. The 2nd of June. On Monday morning, HMCS Charlottetown came under heavy fire. The Libyan army had deployed a dozen BM-21 launch vehicles at the port city of Misrata and opened fire on the Canadian warship. Charlottetown did not return fire and did not sustain damage. The 16th of June. During the preceding week, throughout 4 days, CF-18s destroyed armored vehicles, field headquarters, ammunition depots and command and control structures with laser-guided bombs. During the same week, CF-18s were recalled to one target because the laser targeting system on an Allied jet failed. The 10th of July, HMCS Vancouver under the command of Commander Bradley Peets, with 225 crew members and a detachment from 443 Maritime Helicopter Squadron, departed CFB Esquimalt en route to the Mediterranean Sea to relieve HMCS Charlottetown, which had been on station off the Libyan coast since March. The 29th of July, Canadian CP-140 Aurora surveillance aircraft started a psychological warfare operation over Libya. The surveillance aircraft started broadcasting propaganda messages over Libyan territory while the Gaddafi regime has tried to jam the transmissions, using electronic warfare. The 18th of August, a change of command ceremony was held in Palma de Mallorca, Spain, where HMCS Vancouver officially relieved HMCS Charlottetown. The ceremony officially marked that Task Force Charlottetown became Task Force Vancouver, and the Task Force command was transferred from Commander Craig Sciarpin to Commander Bradley Peets. The 1st of November, Operation Mobile officially ceased operations and began mission closure activities.